Hey folks, Motorman here. I've got a private lesson today with a rider who's been at the class before, practices quite a bit on his own, and he's going to go into some competition for the Shriners. So I've set this course up really tight. It's actually the motor officer size. These cones are 12 feet apart, and when they're that close together, you're on a big bike, you got to really get that perfect speed so that you don't hit the cones and you're still able to turn the handlebars. He's looking down a bit. You're looking down.
I was going to hit the cone.
You were looking down all the way. Head and eyes up, like they're not even there. Head turn could be a little quicker than that U-turn. The faster and further you turn your head, the tighter the turn's going to be. Have to develop a rhythm. He's starting to do that here. Now he looked down. Oh, it's going to be tight. Get closer to the green cone, almost as if you want to run it over.
Okay. Just better?
That's getting better. You're starting to figure out what speed you need to be at and getting to lean that bike. Remember that the further ahead you look, as you can see those cones with your peripheral vision, so there's no reason really to drop your head. As you get closer to the end, you tend to drop your head. It's very natural. People do it all the time.
This really is a fast exercise.
It's what?
It's really not a fast exercise.
No, you can't go fast here. I'm saying probably around 7-8 miles an hour at the most. That was about 17'8". Remove that last cone so he can get a better dip as he goes into the 18-foot U-turn. Come this way. $17.10. I took that cone away so that you got more time to do a good dip before you get in there. Very good. Cruise around the parking lot, get out of the friction zone, get off the rear brake 2 times around the entire parking lot. Let this cool down a bit. A lot of people ask about, is this going to ruin your clutch? Well, if you breeze the bike out, let it cool down after every 10 minutes or so of practice. Let that clutch cool, let that brake cool, rest your hand. I know guys that ride rodeos all the time. In fact, I know one guy, first name is Dominic. He's with the Hillsborough, or was with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and he had a BMW with a dry clutch. Now, a dry clutch is not cooled with oil, and BMWs are known for, well, not the strongest clutches. He actually used to work out, well, probably 8 to 10 hours a month, and every day he put in at least a half-hour practice with that Beamer, and he got 35,000 miles out of the clutch. One might think, well, you're doing this kind of competition, and really in the competition you're abusing that bike a little bit, but he kept his revs low, was easy on the rear brake, many times wasn't even using the rear brake, just clutch and throttle. Won a lot of rodeos, as a matter of fact, and he got 35,000 miles out of the clutch. So if you're just a person who wants to get good at low speeds and practice these techniques like I show you in the exercises and Ride Like a Pro, you know, you practice hour and a half, 2 hours a week till you get it down, and then maybe 20-30 minutes a week after that, and oh, that clutch is going to last forever, especially if you give it a nice breeze out and you keep your revs low. Most bikes today have a wet clutch. That means they're cooled with oil, even the BMWs now. I think the only one left that has some bikes with a dry clutch is Ducati. Ken's first try at the Motor Officer offset cone weave. Doing pretty good, but the further down you go, you start making mistakes. It'll seem like it's getting tighter even though it isn't.
I know, I'm looking to go.
Well, what happens is you don't have much room for error. So if you, let's say you screw up 1 foot at the first one, then 2 foot, and then 3 foot, that's exactly what happened. So you didn't get it further enough back this way towards me before you made the turn. Get the first one right and keep that same, because once you get a little bit out of line, there's no room left. Over here, turn. 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 That might have helped him a bit. That bike is hot. It's about 95 degrees today. Feels like temperature of 110. So you gotta breeze that bike out quite a bit. Getting better each time. Still a little heavy on the throttle. But when you're learning it this tight, yeah, that's very natural. Right there's your figure 8. Going just a little bit outside. That's a matter of getting the head around sooner and looking for that crossover point. The crossover point is right there in the middle. Every time you pass it, snap your head and look at back again. Now that time you looked at the ground. You're looking down instead of at that crossover point. Every time you run that middle part over, you got to snap your head and find it again. Look only at that point.